Sonia, would you introduce our guest speaker this evening?
Yes, yeah. Well, we're joined tonight um, by Tina Pugel from the Medical Benevolence Foundation. Some of you met her maybe in December when she came. She was here, I think, the 17th of December and did a faith in action, and spoke to a Sunday school class. So we invited her back, and we are going to talk tonight mostly about because we've had a lot of great opportunities over the last year to learn about the Medical Benevolence Foundation. But tonight we're going to specifically talk about Malawi. And so she's going to talk to us about opportunities to go there and about another gathering that we can have in the coming weeks. So um, thank you for joining us from Round Rock, Tina.
Yeah,
And
right down the road.
the director, I should say, she's the director of partner engagement. So she's our connection now to Medical Benevolence Foundation. She's the new staff person. So we're happy to have her with us. Thank you.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I really appreciate it. And wow, I didn't realize it was December 17th. I don't know which way I'm coming and going some of the time. So thank you for reminding me. I do remember the sermon from that Sunday because it was about the song Mary Did You Know? And I always had the same reaction that she has. Well, of course she knew. She was told. Anyway, I still remember the sermon. Still makes me giggle. Um,
You.
let me also say thank you to you all and to the church family for partnering with MBF for 30 years. So at some point this year, one of the things I'd love to do is come and have a small celebration. We usually bring cake. We have something we like to give you all to celebrate your 30 years of partnership with MBF. And that's half of the time that we've been in existence. So you guys have been really great and faithful partners with us, and we are just incredibly honored to have been partnering with you. I joined, as Sonia said, I joined in October, and so the Woodlands was one of my first church visits shortly after I came on board. So I wanted to share with you all. I don't know how much you all know. I know I did a presentation and some of you were there and some of you weren't, about the work that we're doing. So I'll give like just a snippet overview of really what our focus is today. As I said, we've been in existence for 60 years. Ministry looks different today than it did over the past 60 years. Everything changes, right, over a period of time, even in the 30 years that we've been partners with you all. So one of the things that a lot of mission organization and nonprofits, especially in healthcare, have done is that they will go into an area and they will provide supplies or medicines or equipment or even healthcare, where we have doctors like Doctors Without Borders. They'll go in, they'll work, and then they'll leave. One of the things that MBF has realized over the last 15 years really is that that's not always really helpful. And so what our mission is today is to go in and build sustainability, and we partner with church-owned hospitals to build networks with other hospitals that are in that country. In Malawi, for example, we have 3 hospitals that are working together. And then we have several clinics that are also working with those hospitals. We are providing education for nurses. We are providing education for physicians to become surgeons. Malawi is one of those countries where, if you can imagine, it's 3 million people. So think about, I mean, there's more than that probably in Houston, right? Whatever the population of Houston is, there's 50 trained surgeons in the country to manage the healthcare for 3 million people. So you can imagine who gets surgeries. People who, first of all, can pay for it. So those that can't pay for it they don't get surgeries. And also larger hospitals in bigger cities. So one of the things that we are currently doing is training surgeons. For many years, a lot of countries in sub-Saharan Africa were dealing with AIDS, And they were dealing with malaria. They were dealing with the urgent. Everything had to be taken care of right now because the death rate was so high. Well, for the last 20 years, because of what Americans have done primarily and provided so much medication and education and different things, that has declined tremendously, which is great. It's great news. That means that people can get older, which is also great news. But then when they get older, there are other issues that physicians are not equipped to handle, like cardiology, pulmonology, diabetes, things that we are, chronic kidney disease, things that we all know about. And so we're working on training physicians in specialty areas as well. So we have, in Malawi in particular, we have 5 faculty that are helping our physicians become surgeons. One of the person who's leading our surgical residency program is about to retire and leave, and the person who's going to take it over, Dr. Limbe, is Malawian, so he will run the surgical residency program. And so that's what we're trying to do, is train from within and grow them up so that they can be sustainable, so that we're not just dropping in and helping and leaving, but we're coming and we're helping them build long-term sustainability, and also creating jobs, and also providing education and elevating the level of financial benefit to the people who work at the hospital and also the community. So that's just a teensy snippet of how we've kind of shifted our thinking from being project-based to being more strategic in building sustainability within our hospitals and our clinics. We're very focused in Malawi on this model, because after that, we're going to try, the goal is to take it to 10 sub-Saharan African countries over the next 10 years. And so we're already taking that model and starting to figure out what our partnerships are going to be in Kenya, which is our next place that we want to go. So we still continue our work in Haiti. We graduate nurses there every year, which is incredible given the turmoil and chaos that they have every day. But as far as building a sustainable hospital networks, we started in Malawi. So that I'll stop right there. Does anybody have questions? Some of you guys have already heard me kind of talk about that. Does anybody have questions about what we're doing today? Did y'all already all know that? You probably know it better than me.
So when do you think you're going to start in Kenya?
Well, the truth is we've already started. The research has already started. We have a vice president of global operations, and that is part of his role, is to start building the partnerships. So that the process for it has started, identifying the hospitals that we're going to be working with, and then bringing them together. That has not started, but the process is of research before we go in has begun. Okay, so now I would like to share with you.
Wait,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm curious about the size of your organization itself, not what it's doing, but is it 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000?
That would be awesome. It is not. It is very small. We kind of have 3 components to our organization. We have our operations folks, and they are on the ground in Malawi, in Kenya, in Haiti. We have our administrative people who are located in Houston, which is where our home office is. And then we have our fundraising people like me that share the message in the regions that we are living in. And so of that total group, we have 15 people that do this work. So not a lot of people, but we have a whole lot of partners. We have we have lots of church partners, we have lots of individuals, and then we have partners in the different countries who we're working with. So even though we're a small group of folks, we have so many people that are working alongside of us. that are very committed to the work that we're doing. So it's, you know, we're driving it, but there's a lot of people involved.
What is a partner?
There are a couple different kinds. Boy, this is great. You're testing me. This is so good. So we have two different kinds of partners. One would be our operational partners, and those are hospitals. Primarily right now, there would be the hospital administrators, the hospital boards, but our other partners are our donor partners like you all. We have donor partners that are churches. We have donor partners who are individuals. So those are what I think of as two separate types of partners, but we're all working together to do the same thing, and that's to provide hope and healing to the people that we're touching. So our operations partners would be the educational institutions that are helping us give the degree program for our nurses. The partnerships with our missionaries that are providing the education to help our physicians become surgeons. The partners with our, like I said, their hospitals, their CEOs, their boards, their administrative people. We are partnering with their staff in a variety of ways at some of these hospitals. So, you know, the tons of different types of partners, but primarily, again, the easiest way for me to explain it is operational and donor partners.
Sally, are you one of the partners?
No, I've never been to Africa. I go with faith and practice to Guatemala and to Peru with our church.
Oh,
All right, so one of the things that we wanted to have an open invitation for anybody from the Woodlands who is interested is we are just now starting to, you know, we did this before the pandemic. Everything, we're all still kind of sort of coming back from the pandemic, even though it does feel like it was a little while ago, not too long. But we are now starting to take people to Malawi. And so the reason why we're taking folks to Malawi is to see the impact of the work that we are doing. Like I said, we have a surgical residency program where we have 5 faculty members, and right now we have 4 or 5 physicians that are training to become surgeons. Interesting story. One of our missionary doctors, her name is Dr. Beth, and you may or may not be familiar with her. Just recently, she had to have an emergency appendectomy. Guess how many surgeons there are around? So one of the students had to do the surgery for her. And I said, was she at least under anesthesia, or did she have to talk him through this?
Oh, no.
But she came through the surgery with flying colors. I'm sure he got an A for his, you know, semester. So, but we want people to be able to see, number one, the impact that is happening in the hospital. And the other thing is to see the surgical residents in action, not doing surgeries, but just what are they learning and how are they learning in the facilities where they're learning in, and meet with our, you know, our missionary doctors who are providing the education, and really see the impact that your 30 years is having today on the hope and healing of the people that are coming into our hospitals that we're seeing and that we're helping. And hear the stories about what they've experienced and what the staff's experiencing, or what, you know, somebody who never thought they'd ever become a nurse and now they've been a nurse for 10 years and how that's impacted their family. So we are offering these vision trips, and would love to invite you all to consider coming. If we have enough people from the Woodlands who are interested in coming, we will take you as one group. And, you know, there are opportunities to do that in, I think they told me in May or June. So Sonia and I had talked about later, but I think we can go as early as May and June. We have a sample itinerary that, you know, I can share with you all via email. And we're estimating the cost, including airfare, hotel accommodations, travel, food, everything at somewhere between an average of about $4,500 per person. And so, that is, if you all are interested, then we can start to really have a conversation around what that would look like and, and what we would be doing. So I'll stop right there, see what questions we might have.
How
And
many
how
days?
long? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just how many days was what I was gonna ask. Would the trip be?
Yeah, it would be a minimum of 10 days, primarily because it takes 2 days to get there and 2 days to get back. So that leaves us really 6 days of being there. We would probably try to go to 2 of the hospital partners. And it would be a jam-packed trip.
Tina, I know you're aware that we have long-term relationships already in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly Zambia.
Uh-huh.
And it would make sense because of the distance to
Sure.
try to coordinate some kind of trip. I think May or June may be a little early for that. So certainly, I think our Africa partnership would be interested in at least considering a trip like this. And then I'm in another organization that may have an interest in Kenya. I don't know where you're looking in Kenya, whether it's in Nairobi or the West or.
I can get you some more information about
Okay.
that. I'm not as familiar with what we're doing in Kenya right now because we're just getting started.
So I don't know, Gary, do you or Sonia, do you have any information that would indicate whether there are people that wish to partake in this?
I haven't gotten any direct feedback.
Yeah.
I think we ought to float something out to the congregation to see who might be interested in when, and then start to see if we can't develop somebody that'll kind of take the lead on organizing it and go from there. But
And
yeah, I
also-
think you're right. We're a little early. May or June would be too early to put all that together, I think.
So again, the timing of this can be up to you all. We can do it, we can really, if there's a large enough group, 6 to 8 couples or so, so 12 to 14 individuals. We can certainly work with you all on a time frame. That was just what the sample was that he was giving to us. Also, if you have people who are interested and want to know more information, I'm happy to come down and we can do a group meeting of anybody who's interested. And, I'll come down and we'll talk about it.
Those have been very beneficial. We've done that with Peru, and given people the opportunity to speak with folks that have gone, ask questions and so forth, and explore their interest. And they've been successful. And I imagine we did the same thing with Africa years ago, did we not? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so one of those,
Go ahead.
ahead. Well, I was going to say, something that might pique the interest in this is, and John, you and I have talked about this, is Dr. Douglas Lungu, who is our medical director, who actually lives in Malawi, and is, over the operations of working with our hospitals and stuff, is actually going to be speaking at St. Philip's on April 21st.
Right.
And the original thought was that anybody from your church, the mission group or whatever, can come down and hear him speak, and then we would do that afternoon or evening a Q&A session with just him, and in the Woodlands. So that was kind of the idea of that. So you all would have just be able to ask him really specific questions about if we came and like I said, I kind of have an itinerary, but he can go into more detail about it. He can share a lot more information. So if that's something you all are interested in, we could do that on either the 21st or the 22nd of April. And, you know, we can do that as a thing, you know, in somebody's home where we can do what, you know, something like that, but so that we have an open Q&A with him.
So he'll be in Houston
Yes.
at least through the 22nd.
Yes, we have a board meeting in Nashville, Tennessee that he will be at the 18th, 19th and 20th. And then he flies in on the late mid-afternoon of the 20th and is speaking there on the 21st in the morning. So, yeah,
Where is there again? St.
he's going to
Philip?
be in
St. Philip
St. Philip's in the morning.
What is St. Philip's?
Presbyterian
Presbyterian downtown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're-
downtown.
Galleria.
Yeah, it's out near the Galleria. Sonia, we do have that sort of in the tentative works, do we not?
Yes, yeah, we had a volunteer, Jane Harding has offered to host him for dinner and to invite, like we talked about, invite
Okay, for Sunday or Monday.
well, we can do an RSVP, but we could work on
Yeah,
that.
you and I can talk through that because we do these all the time, so we have everything in place to run it. Was that on a Sunday or Monday?
A
Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh, okay, great. All right, that would be fantastic.
Lives towards the airport. She's not in the Woodlands.
Okay,
So said you're leaving on the 22nd, or no, is that not right? I thought you were all staying.
20th is Saturday.
yeah, he's here on the 21st and 22nd. And
Yeah. So it's
I
just,
just
it's,
have,
I think from here maybe, but it's,
Yeah.
it's closer to the airport than what.
okay,
what we-
no problem.
Closer to St. Philip's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You have other congregations close to us that might be interested in as well if we can't grab 8 people or 10 people. Are there other groups that you're talking to?
Oh,
that
sure. Yeah,
might-
absolutely. If there's not, you know, if we don't have enough people for a full trip, we have other people that are also interested in going, and so we would put a whole trip together. That's what we're doing right now. We're starting to talk with people about doing this, and we're trying to coordinate the trip with a lot of people.
Well, it would help me a whole lot to have the itinerary, you know, the draft itinerary that you're thinking about. So we can start looking at.
Yeah, let me just, let's see. I suppose I could share my screen. Could I share my screen, Gary? We talked about that a little bit. Well, I didn't,
Laura,
I'm
can
sorry.
you set it up for her to share her screen?
It's okay. Let's don't do that because I didn't,
Yeah,
I didn't
just-
pull it up on my computer, but let me give it to
They
you real
sent-
quick. I've got it. So the
By the way-
cost, like, sorry. The cost, like I mentioned, covers transportation, lodging, meals, 1 day and 2 nights in a game park. That'd be fun. Travel,
which
health
one?
insurance. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Travel insurance and background check. So Friday, we would leave from the US and we would, if we were doing multiple groups of people, we would probably meet in either like Atlanta or Chicago or New York. Saturday, we would arrive in Lilongwe. In the evening, we would do dinner as a group, review the agenda for Sunday. Sunday morning, there would be church. In the afternoon, we would have a luncheon and a group meeting with individuals in the congregation members. We would talk about their congregation priorities. And in the evening, we would have dinner, and then we would possibly hear from Deputy General Secretary of the Nakoma Synod or the Nakoma Hospital board members. Monday, we would drive to the clinic and we'd participate with the staff in their morning clinics. Afternoon, we would have lunch with the clinic staff. And then we would go to the Nakoma guest house. In the evening, we would have dinner and we would review plans with Dr. Jens, Limbe, and Caleb. And these are all they're either Dr. Jens and Limbe are the two people running our surgical residency program, and Caleb is one of the residents. So Tuesday we would do the hospital tour. We would go to the surgical unit. We would do lunch with hospital staff. And then Wednesday and Thursday, there's more. There's going back to the hospital. There's a tour of the nursing school with the dean. Then we would drive to Blantyre, visit couple clinics along the way. And then we would probably meet with some of the folks from Melange board members. Then we would go to the Melange Hospital on Thursday, tour the hospital and the nursing school, and discuss the mission and vision of their hospital. And then Friday, we would go to the game park, and Saturday and Sunday we'd drive back, or not drive, fly. We would make travel arrangements to come back. Jam-packed itinerary. But also would give you a really good perspective of what we're doing and what we will be doing for the next several decades. This is the plan for what we're doing. Train and educate so that they can move forward on their own.
Okay.
That sounds like it'd be pretty easy to tack on a few more days
Well, it'd be more than a few days.
yeah.
We'd
Another
probably,
week.
because we'd want to go to Kisefu, which is in eastern province of Zambia, and then probably fly to Lusaka, and then probably have to drive over to Siavanga. So you're talking about some travel, adding at least
a couple of weeks anyway.
at least another week on or more.
Yeah.
But I mean, like like she said, it takes a while to get there. So you might as well,
Take advantage
Yeah.
of it.
yeah, do it while you're
Absolutely.
there.
Since you're that close.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And since one of the largest parts of the cost is the airfare over there.
It is primarily the largest cost. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And by the way, Tina, Nancy and I at 6 this morning became election clerks, and I just snuck out at 15 till 7 when the polls closed, but Nancy was stuck, so she apologizes for
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
so
I commend you for wanting to do that. I hope it was a peaceful day.
today was peaceful. I'm real concerned about November.
I think that is the general consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
So that would be great.
Yeah, I think it'd be very exciting. And of course, I would love to go with you all.
Well,
I won't be your guide. I'm going to learn right alongside of you, but
okay. Okay.
Thank you.
any
our-
questions or?
Spread the word, and we'll do this again on April 21st with Dr. Lungu.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you all to spend some time with him. And like I said, if you want me to come down and do a meeting with interested people, let me know, and I'm happy to come down.
Would you be willing to let us know about time frames that would not work from your perspective? I mean, I know y'all are looking to do a trip May, June. I don't think that's feasible for us, but if we're planning, it would be helpful for us to say to folks that are interested, hey, we're looking at sometime in September or whatever, but we certainly don't want to throw out a time that works for us but doesn't work for you all.
Yeah, it's funny that you say September, because Sonia and I were talking about it, and I said, well, we could do it in September. But we were talking, so the truth, here's the thing. We can discuss that as far as the timing. I think, from my perspective, we'll work through that. We'll figure that out. Whatever works best for you all is really what we want to do, because we just feel it's really important to share this with you all.
Isn't
What
there a
what-
good time to be there and a bad time to be there as far as
Weather.
drought and that kind of
Yeah.
thing?
I don't think their winters are as well. I mean, their weather is really a lot like Texas, so I don't
May
think
and
they
June
have a
is
lot.
really good.
Yeah,
May and June is really good.
not as hot.
October, you possibly start getting rain. November, it gets pretty hot.
Yeah, we wouldn't go in November, December, just,
Yeah.
it's too
And the-
hectic with holidays.
And the insects fly. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've been to Zambia in November and it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, what do you think about July or August, John? Would it be really be hot? But I mean, nothing we're
No.
not.
Now, July and August, that's coming out of their winter.
Yeah,
So that's spring.
yeah. Nothing we're not used to here in Texas. I
No,
mean,
no,
I don't think it's gonna be 115 degrees, so
Yeah.
we'll probably be fine.
and I haven't been to Malawi, so I don't know how different it is, but I mean, they border each other. So
Right, exactly, exactly. So Laura, to answer your question, we'll work that out.
yeah.
Oh, did she pop off? Oh, no,
Yeah.
she was there. Yeah. So we'll continue the conversation.
Okay.
Great.
Well, we're interested. So
Excellent. I'm very excited. I can't, you all are the folks that I'm going with.
okay.
Thank you,
All
Tina.
right. You, let's see, Sonia has my email and my phone number, and as does Carrie and John. So if anybody has questions, and I will do my best to get you an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tina. I did have to pop out of the room for a second. So I appreciate your answer to my question.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. All right. Well, thanks for
All right.
having me tonight. We appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you,
We
Tina.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Sonia, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, yep. Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye-bye.
John, I'm thinking it might be worthwhile for, maybe you and Sonia and I to get together sometime and kind of map out a strategy on how to roll this out to the congregation and get some opportunities
Right.
to excite people.
Mhm.
And I think Nancy needs to be part of that too. And she would have been here. She's met with Tina as well. So
Okay, maybe, but we'll figure out a time to do that outside of the meeting tonight, but let's take
Okay.
that on as an action and see what we can get started.
I'd love your help.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.